You had the spaceship, and you had the bodies. They were all locked up in a bunker. Where was that? David.
I don't know.
Area 51, right? Area 51.
Hi there, and welcome to Baseball by Design. I am SportsLogos.net minor league baseball correspondent Paul Caputo, broadcasting live, as always, from the Sunday Helmet Hall of Fame in my basement in Fort Collins, Colorado.
And I am Dan Simon, also broadcasting live, but not from Fort Collins, Colorado, nor a basement, but rather from the Studio Simon headquarters at historic Bowman Field in beautiful Louisville, Kentucky.
Dan, this is an episode I have been waiting to do for a long time. I've been waiting to have an excuse to talk about the Las Vegas 51s, an all-time classic minor league baseball brand, now defunct for the last, I think, 7 years. The 51s obviously became the Las Vegas Aviators when the Howard Hughes Corporation purchased the team, and they moved into their new ballpark in Summerlin outside of Las Vegas. But this 51s brand, based on Area 51, 83 miles away from Las Vegas, is an absolute joy to me. One of my favorite early discoveries as a fan of minor league baseball. What do you think? What do you think of this brand, Dan? This is we can talk openly about it. It's past, so we're not going to hurt its feeling. What do you think about this 51s brand?
I loved it. It actually, what year did they become the 51s?
The 51s, they became the 51s in 2001, which I remember because it's the same year that Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, was released.
Boy, that's 25 years ago.
Yes.
That's a lifetime in minor league branding. And the minor league branding then, that was 8 years after the first minor league identity I did.
Yeah.
And really, what minor league baseball branding has become was still very much in its infancy in 2001. Right.
Yeah.
You were not seeing the crazy things you're seeing today.
Yeah.
So that one, I wouldn't call this identity crazy, but it's very clever.
Yes.
Visually and just the subject matter.
Yes.
So I loved it when it came out. It's like, wow, look what somebody did.
Right. And it's not like the brand itself was super, super wacky. The brand actually, they did a nice job of creating a sort of subdued alien-themed identity. The sort of serious treatment of this wacky idea is really fun, I think. So I have one of my favorite hats. Like if the house was on fire and I had saved my children and the cats, I would then turn my attention to the minor league baseball hat collection, and the 51s cap is one of the ones that would get thrown in the bag as the walls were caving in around me.
I would like to think that you already have all of your Studio Simon designed caps in fireproof containers.
They're in the safe. Yeah, they're in the lockbox. But every time I want to wear my Erie Seawolves cap, I got to go find the key for the lockbox. Just for the listener at home, I'll cut that all out. But we had a brief spider interruption where Dan had to escort a spider off of his desk. So it's a minor disruption to this conversation. But Dan, that gives me the opportunity to say that we've got a couple letters that I want to get into here. If you would like to send a letter to Baseball by Design, please email me at pauljcaputo@gmail.com or send me a note on one of the socials, and we'll get into your letters. And when I say that we'll get to your letter if you send it in, I should point out that this is a letter that Jacob Kasanoff sent in March. So I apologize, Jacob, for taking this long to get to you, but we do a letter or two every episode. Jacob writes very kindly, "Hi, Paul. Love the podcast. How many alternate identities does it take to go overboard? My local team, the Blue Claws," and he mentions Camel Case, "has released 3 alternate identities for this upcoming season: the Tomatoes, the Pork Rollers, and the Beach Badgers. They are also returning their Copa identity, the Medusas, and another identity from last year, the Locals. In addition to that, they added 2 new logos, the Liberty Bucket on a hat, and the JS logo with the state outline on a hat and a jersey. I'm torn because all of the logos are outstanding and very high quality, but for me, I believe this may just be over the line of too many identities. Best, Jacob."
Okay, I've got a question for that. I was listening to you reading that, of course, but are
What
we talking
was
about?
is the spider back, Dan? And did you get distracted by the spider again?
No, 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 no. It, I is he talking about alternate identities? Because he also mentions
Right.
alternate logos.
Yes.
So if we're going to be talking about what is too many or
Yeah.
too much, are we talking about too many alternate identities or just too many logos?
I think that when Jacob mentioned the additional logos that the team had added to their primary identity, that was just sort of icing on the cake of the alternate identities. I think the crux of this question is the Blue Claws have the tomatoes, the pork rollers, the beach badgers, in addition to the Medusas and the locals. The fact that there are now additional logos for the primary identity is just sort of icing on the cake. I think this question is how many alternate identities can a team have while still actually just being one team?
Okay. Well, teams for certain got to the point where they were going overboard. Not all teams, because there are actually some teams that have surprisingly few alternate identities, but there were certain teams that would just do an alternate identity after alternate identity. And that became a problem, not necessarily from a fan standpoint, but from a production standpoint, because you've got 120 minor league teams. You also have 30 major league teams, and you have all the other sports that New Era makes caps for. And it got to be too much. So well, it's no longer minor league baseball, it's the minor league operations department at Major League Baseball put a limit. Hey, they put a cap on
Nicely done.
that. Teams can only do 2 new alternate identities a season. Now, I said 2 new ones because as you were reading Jacob's letter, I was wondering to myself, well, what about carryovers? Alternate identities teams already have. Can they
Yeah.
do those? Frankly, I don't think they can. I'm going to have to get verification on that because I don't even know the answer to that myself. But I know at the very least, they can only do 2 new ones each year. Now, some teams, I am told, can do 3, but I have not learned which teams can and why they can. I think that's because if there's another team out there that's only going to do 1 new alternate identity, that opens up a slot for another team to do a third, let's
Oh,
say.
I see. Okay. So
So
they
like
can be shared around.
right. A max, basically there's 240 slots, 120 teams times 2, 240 slots. And if somebody doesn't use their allocation of 2, then that opens it up for other teams. I believe that's the way it works. That's something else I want to get. I want to get some clarification
Sounds
on.
like trading draft picks though, right? Like it's we're going to forego maybe a team could like forego an alternate identity slot in exchange for some sort of consideration from another team. I don't know, but it's interesting for this episode actually that we would ask this question because the Las Vegas Aviators, who we addressed in May of 2023, it was 3 years ago that we did the Aviators on this podcast. The Aviators have some alternate identities. The 51s is not one of them. They're not throwing back to this 51s brand. We're talking about this because it has resurfaced in their team store and there's a resurgence in interest in it. And as you mentioned, it's the 25th anniversary, but it's not actually something that they're going to be wearing on the field yet. I am hoping that that the baseball by design bump puts this over the hump, and we get this brand on the field next year.
What you said is I don't know if you actually use these words, so I want to specify that throwbacks do count as an alternate identity. Perfect example: the Oklahoma City, now Comets. They used to be called the 89ers, and they wear an 89ers jersey as an alternate jersey, not an alternate identity.
Oh,
It's part of their what's called official club marks,
yeah.
their official brand. It's part of their official brand. However, I just recently finished up a new alternate identity for a minor league club that is a throwback that's going to be an alternate identity. They could have just made it a alternate jersey, and
Right.
then they could wear as much as they want for as long as they want.
Sort of
But
gaming the system there.
yeah, one other thing I want to point out is when Jacob was reading off these alternate identities for his hometown team, he definitely said more than two. So
Yeah.
what I would imagine is going on there is you mentioned how the Aviators have 51's caps in their merch store, but
Yeah.
they don't wear it on field.
Right.
So I would imagine some of the ones that Jacob was mentioning are ones that are still in their team store, but are not necessarily being worn on field this particular season.
Well, Jacob gave us a lot to think about there, and I appreciate your insider information there, Dan. There's so much going on, and it's, I'm sure, getting stricter and stricter under the leadership of Major League Baseball. Dan, let's get to one more letter, and then we're going to let you go prepare a studio Simon Stumper for us. This is from my friend, Eric Profit, who is one of the hosts of the Earned Fun Average, which is, if you're not listening to the Earned Fun Average, you should be listening to the Earned Fun Average out there. He says, Dear Mr. Caputo, first-time typer, long-time listener, maybe I should just call your cell phone and leave you a voicemail since you don't have a call-in line. We should have a call-in line, Dan. He says, I was listening to the Tulsa Drillers episode on my 5:45 a.m. walk. I don't believe Tulsa is anywhere near Louisville. This is a reference to, I said, just because I was driving from Tulsa to Louisville in one day, that those two places were close to one another. It was like a 9-hour drive, so maybe that is, he's right. Maybe Tulsa is not anywhere near Louisville. He says, however, since Louisville is closer to Iowa, I vote that Mr. Simon does come to the Curved Brim Media meetup with us in August. Maybe we can also get a beer or an ice cream helmet when I stop by in Louisville in July on the way to my son's travel ball tournament in Nashville. And then he signs it The Influencer. That's his nickname, The Influencer, Eric Profit. And then he says, P.S. We don't like Tulsa in Wichita. They are the rival of the Wind Surge, but they do have a good ballpark. He's right about that. They have a beautiful ballpark. So I think here is listener Eric Profit just using the write-in mailbag to try to make social plans with you.
Okay, well, listeners and Eric, well, who is a listener, so
Yeah.
but Eric specifically, Paul and I are currently in negotiations regarding whether I will or will not be present at the Curve Brim Media meetup.
You could finally see your Cedar Rapids Colonels brand, which is an all-time favorite of mine, on the field in Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
Yeah, and then also, aren't you going to
The Quad Cities River Bandits.
Quad Cities? Right.
Yeah.
Interestingly, my older son Cooper, for 3 months, he had left Louisville and he had moved to Davenport, Iowa.
Huh.
And I wanted to visit him while he was there, just figured he would be there for a while. And then he up and moved 3 months into his move, and I had not yet visited him. So I never got to Davenport and nor modern Woodsman Park. Is that what it's called?
Modern, I don't know if it's Woodman or Woodsman, but yeah.
I think it's Woodsman Park.
It's the park with the Ferris wheel. That's what I call it.
Yeah, and right by the river, which I think has flooded the park a number of times. I think they might have built a wall around it since the last flooding. Do you know about this?
I don't know. No, I'm going to learn all of this. August 28 and 29. We're also visiting the Field of Dreams site, Dan.
Have you never been there before?
No, I never have.
Nor have I. So,
and I can tell you that while you, the designer of the Cedar Rapids Colonels logo, might be there, I doubt that we're going to have Francis Santachigliani, designer of the Quad Cities River Bandits logo, who has never been on this podcast, by the way. It's he just said it's not his thing.
Yeah, he's a mysterious dude.
Yeah. Not enemy of the podcast like Joe Bosack. Just just didn't want to be on the podcast. That's all right. Dan, let's let you get out of here. Go prepare your studio Simon Stumper while I talk with Tom Brazil, who is the manager of retail things for the Aviators. It was his decision to bring this 51's brand back. And then Stadium Food Girl Val Ruiz, my friend, and also Las Vegas resident, who is a huge fan of this logo and a big minor league baseball personality. And then after that, Dan, you'll be back with your studio Simon Stumper.
Paul, I'm going to let you in And you and your listeners in on a little secret. My studio Simon Stumpers are always prepared beforehand.
No way, Dan. I'm going to give you like a half hour to prepare it here.
Okay, here I go.
I am so excited to get to talk about the Las Vegas 51s, a classic retired brand from minor league baseball. Tom Brazil, who's the director of retail operations with the Las Vegas Aviators, is here to chat about it. Tom, how you doing?
Excellent, excellent. Anytime I can hop on and talk about the 51s, it's just a well-known and well-loved brand in Las Vegas. 100% will.
Well, this is, you guys have been the Aviators now for 5, 6, 7 years. I can't believe it's been that long, but you were at Cashman Field,
Yep.
and then when you moved out to Summerlin in 2019,
Right.
the Aviators were born and the 51s were retired. You guys have brought the 51s back. You're selling gear in the team store and you're celebrating that old brand that, as you said, was really beloved. Before we get into the brand itself, how did the team finally make the decision to bring back this brand, at least in the team store?
So the main reason I wanted to bring it back, and again, this was more of a me thing than a club thing. Retail, I have the final say on, and I went for it. I know people were asking about it, but the biggest reason I brought it back is it's actually the 25th year anniversary of when they announced the 51's name in 2021 or 2001. So 25 years. I thought, hey, what better to bring some back than drop it on the 25th year and drop it on 5/1 May 1st, 51s, kind of a 5/1 day. So we dropped all that merchandise on May 1st. Excellent reception. So that was kind of the main reason is it is the 25th year anniversary. Although the Aviators aren't doing anything massive to celebrate that, I kind of wanted to pay homage to it and bring it back into the store.
So I can't imagine anyone who listens to this podcast is not familiar with the 51s as a brand, a AAA team, a fixture in minor league baseball for many years, from 2001 to 2018, as you just noted. What is the 51's brand? Where does that name come from? What is the significance to Las Vegas of the number 51 and that alien head brand?
Yeah, so the 51's it's based on Area 51 here in Las Vegas. It's maybe an hour and a half north of us. So they have the compound up there that has all the stories that you hear of. That's where they're housing aliens and the extraterrestrial life. That's where it's going to be in the government property and in the government hands is Area 51 Las Vegas. So that's kind of where it's based off of, and it's just kind of a comical and a fun play on something that we don't, well, we might have proof of in real life, but it's also just something that people speculate and can throw out there as a extraterrestrial and a sci-fi way of thinking of baseball too. So it's kind of cool to just tie those two things together. The alien logo is so popular. I mean, you see it now in sports. I think it's Victor Wembanyama has the alien head in basketball, and he's kind of coined that a little bit too. But I'd like to think we did it first with that alien head here in Las Vegas.
Well, so the team store that you brought back the full gamut of all of these logos. You've got the alien head, and there's probably people who are more expert on like the different kind of aliens that are out there.
Yeah.
But he's a gray. He's got the big eyes and the big head and the sort of like narrow nose and chin. And on his head is baseball seams.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool. That's a great little detail on that brand. There's an LV brand just for Las Vegas. You are wearing the cap right now that features the mascot Cosmo, who I absolutely cannot see without thinking of Jar Jar Binks.
100%.
No coincidence, perhaps, that this brand was unveiled in 2001 when Episode 1 of Star Wars came out. I don't know if that's a.
Now, I don't know the lore behind that. I don't think there was anything that ties that together outside of the year. I wouldn't think there's anything that ties it together. But again, Jar Jar Binks looking character, the hat goes over his eyes and the eyes pop out.
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. And I'm a Star Wars lover, so I equate it to Jar Jar. My fiance equates it to Jar Jar. She's like, "Oh,
Nice.
it's Jar Jar. Like, what are we doing? Like, why is this name not Jar Jar?" But yeah, awesome,
Uh,
awesome mascot. We actually brought him back out for a game last year.
Oh, no
In
kidding.
Star Wars night last year, we used him in a promo video of kind of a Sith Lord type of look, like Jar Jar's a Sith Lord type of thing, just for the fans. And man, they jumped all over that. That made the decision to bring the 51s back this year even easier, is just have a little bit of merch and people hop on that stuff.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. The one of the logo I distracted myself with Jar Jar here, but there's obviously another logo that has the number 51 with kind of like a an orbit around it, kind of
Yep.
like looks like an atom almost, but has a, sort of an orbit feeling. I'm curious to know which brand, that you've seen in the store selling the most. Is it the Alien Head? Is it the LV? Is it the Orbit? Is it the number 51?
So it's easy. The alien head's the answer. People love that. The Orbitron is what we call that one with the orbit around
Orbitron.
it. It's popular. Anything with the name in it. There's also a logo with the 51s and then a small alien head in it. People like that because there's the combo of both. But I would definitely say the alien head's probably the most popular. We dropped a blue jersey this year that had the alien. He's peeking around the L in Las Vegas. This was a logo that I had to really go and find, get legal approval on. New Era had from what I know, New Era created this logo for us, the one that he's peeking around for hats. When I went to them, they said it was stored away and you have to get MILB approval to even bring back to life. I was able to do that. I got it on a jersey. It was approved. That's been our best seller is the blue jersey with the alien peeking around the corner. It's freaking awesome.
That's amazing. I'm not even familiar with that logo too. I thought I was pretty well versed in my 51's lore here.
Yeah, take a look. We still have that one online. The blue jersey's there. We're almost out of it. We did it through Official League. They do some sweet throwback stuff. The jerseys they do are awesome. So the 51's blue jersey has the alien on it. You can see that on our website as well.
I think you see a lot in minor league baseball. A team will change its brand and there will still be this sort of nostalgia for the older brand. And that's just a natural thing. People remember a team, they went to games with that team.
Mhm.
But I think there are times when it's more than just that nostalgia, right? Like I think that it is really this feeling of that was an absolute classic brand. We are sad that it's gone because it should be part of minor league baseball. I wonder if seeing the this brand have success in the Aviators team store, is there the possibility that the success that you're having in the team store with this brand, with this identity, might lead the team to wearing this look on the field again someday?
There's always that option. 2023, we wore the Las Vegas Stars again.
Yeah.
It was our 40th anniversary. We wore them 6 to 8 times on the field that year. I think there's definitely a appetite for that. We're only 7 years removed from it. 10 years could be an option.
Mm.
Still relatively fresh. 7 years isn't a super lengthy amount of time. So there's definitely an appetite for it. It's just about doing it the right way, the anniversary we're hitting. And if we feel that that brand, again, it deserves it, it's just the amount of time in between of when we ended in 18 to now is it's coming up on the 10 year, but we'll see. We'll see.
How well versed, you said you're a Star Wars guy. How well versed are you in Area 51 and the lore of that government facility?
I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means. I hear the stories. I hear the what was it 2 3 years ago when everyone was supposed to go and raid it and break in and that never happened. I hear the stories being out here, but I'm not extremely well versed on that.
In 2000, the world's changed quite a bit since 2001. I think that with the advent of social media and with just sort of changes that have happened sort of in the world, you get a lot more into, conspiracy theories, right? Like, so I'm wondering, has the reintroduction of this brand brought out the aliens are real crowd, or like, is this, are you seeing them in your team store?
I mean, I don't know. I think we see them anyways. I think a lot of people believe that, and truly, I think I'm probably in that crowd. Like there probably is alien species out there that have been to Earth. Again, the government's great at hiding things, and I don't think I would ever know if they were. But yeah, 100%. Like you see that, and as a Star Wars fan, like it's just another avenue to talk about some of these things that people are passionate about. The Star Treks, the Star Wars, they come in and see an alien logo, and man, that might pique their interest more than our Aviators brand. And Yeah, I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist too. I may not put it out there, but I love hearing all that stuff.
It is fun to talk about for sure,
It
right?
is.
Like
It is.
when I spoke with Jim Gemma for sportslogos.net when I wrote about this brand, it was let's see, when did I 2014. It was one of the very
Okay.
early articles that I wrote for sportslogos.net. He suggested that, his preference for like team photos was to use the LV logo because it was a more sort of classic baseball logo. And he liked the brand of the 51s, but maybe outside the alien head logo. I'm wondering, with all the changes that have happened in minor league baseball, if this alien head logo maybe isn't even as extreme or considered as silly as, in 2001 it might have been.
It's definitely not one of the wackier logos in minor league now. 2001, like you said, probably was, but I think it still holds strong if you put it up there against some of these new ones. 51s would hold its own weight for sure.
Do you see people at the ballpark wearing old, like from the actually 2001 to 2018? Do you see people wearing some of like the 51's gear, like that?
100%. You see that everywhere. People bring that back all the time. And now that we're selling it, you see even more. But yeah, you 100% see that around. Definitely.
I have to ask this question as well. I have a collection of ice cream helmets,
Okay.
and one of the white whales that I have never been able to get from, an actual ballpark, I do have a custom made Las Vegas 51's ice cream helmet. It was custom made by my friend Eric Lichtenberg, who makes custom ice cream helmets, but it was custom made.
Wow.
It was not from the ballpark. Any chance that you would sell in the team store or have in the ballpark a 51's ice cream helmet?
I know right now, absolutely not. I got nothing like that. Again, in the future, that's a possibility. If we were to bring them back as an on-field identity, 100%, I think food and beverage would hop in on that. 100%, they'd probably drop a 51s one if we were to do that.
Okay, so the 51's obviously classic brand. You're having great success with it in the team store. As the director of retail for the team, you do have these other alternate brands that you have mentioned. You mentioned the villains. You had the gamblers themed alternate identity. Are there alternate brands that you're seeing have a lot of success in the team store right now?
The Villains was the most recent. Obviously, we played as them April 25th. The one and only game that we'll play as them. That was a very good success for us. We're out of just about everything. I think you can find hats nowadays on New Era. That's about it because I'm out of stock of them. The Gamblers by far was the one that hit. It was the first theme night we ever dropped in 2024. People equated it to kind of a city connect for the major leagues when we did it, and it took off. Like we didn't know what we were in for when we were ordering for that, when we were dropping that. The public loved it. When you think of Las Vegas, you think of gambling. I guess that's just kind of the connotation of Las Vegas. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form that you can get around that. I know it's a hot topic nowadays because gambling has taken off in the sports world. The Otani stories of the world and all these gambling stories, the Chauncey Billups in the NBA this last year. But again, like that's part of Las Vegas's roots. It's not only the gaming aspect of gambling, but it was the gambling on Las Vegas as kind of a destination
Hmm.
back in the early 1900s, the late 1800s of making this desert where there's lack of water a city. And it's really blown up since then. As you know, it's just a sports capital of the world coming here now. We've got MLB coming, NBA's being talked about, man. It's blown up a ton in the sports world, and without the gamble on Las Vegas, I wouldn't be here. So Gamblers was a big one for us.
Well, you mentioned sports teams coming to Las Vegas, and I know that you do have some A's themed things on your team store,
Yes.
which is another question. What is that for you, managing the store and the retail operations there? Is the advent of the Las Vegas A's something that you're sort of buying into and playing up because that's a big part of Las Vegas baseball story? And obviously you're an A's affiliate, so that's another reason that you would have A's stuff. Or are you trying to sort of maintain a separate identity and keep your distance?
So no, that we're not trying to keep our distance in the slightest. We know that Steam is picking up for this. We also host them every year for spring training. Big League Weekend happens once a year, usually two games in March. So we hosted that this year. Excellent success, sellouts both days. We also are hosting the first ever A's regular season series here in the middle of June. They are here for 6 games playing regular season games against the Brewers and Rockies. So we get to host that. I've done the buying for that here. So we have a lot of A's stuff coming. I'm fully bought into it. The fans show up for that and they show out for it. So it is one thing that we are their AAA, so that helps out.
Yeah.
If we have stock left over, people are still interested because we are their brand. But at the same time, they're coming here in a year and a half. The steam is picked up. The ballpark's getting built. It's looking like it's a for sure thing at this point. So we're bought in 100%.
Now I'm picturing a yellow cap with a green brim and the alien head logo on it. And I have to have it.
Alien. That's good. That's good. Yeah. That would be a crossover I wouldn't even have thought of is the 51s and A's. But man, anything and everything, that green and gold is going to be everywhere around here.
I guarantee you'd have at least one sale from this guy right here. So, so I mentioned I've been to a number of 51s and Aviators games. The Stars were before my time. Never made it to a Stars game, but went to Cashman Field. It obviously had its challenges. The
Mhm.
new ballpark out in Summerlin is fantastic. It's absolutely gorgeous. I met you in person in 2024 at the AAA championship game in Summerlin, and that's just a spectacular place to watch baseball. But there's obviously the franchise's connection to Cashman Field still, which is, to my understanding, still standing. And I think we were talking off air. There's a soccer team that's playing there. What do you know about Cashman Field these days?
So correct. Yeah, the Las Vegas Lights is the soccer team here in Vegas that plays now at Cashman Field. So they are, from my understanding, this is their last season at Cashman Field. So what they came to us in probably early April and they asked if we could do a collaboration. They did a Las Vegas Lights and Las Vegas Aviators game, just to kind of a theme night. We've done them here at the ballpark. We use the WNBA team, the Las Vegas Aces or the Vegas Golden Knights, and kind of do a combination night. So they did that actually a couple days ago. It was May 30th. They did the Las Vegas Aviators and Las Vegas Lights night. But how they tied this into Cashman Field is they did a jersey giveaway that was a Las Vegas 51s and Las Vegas Lights jersey giveaway. So me and a bunch of the guys here went down there, celebrated the Las Vegas 51s, Las Vegas Lights, and they had the jersey giveaway, first 1,000 fans. Man, you go in that stadium, everybody was wearing that thing. It was sweet. Just kind of to commemorate the stadium of Cashman Field. Again, they may not be playing there next year. Cashman Field as a whole might be up in the air. Again, I'm not exactly sure the exact details of that, but it seems like this may be their last year here. So they wanted to really commemorate what happened at Cashman, and the 51s were just a massive part of that. So they got on top of it, reached out to us, and the 51s brand went back to Cashman Field for a night.
So I have a memory from Cashman Field that I feel like I have to share actually, because this was a Las Vegas 51s memory here. I had a press credential, thanks to Jim Gemma for helping to facilitate that. Had a press credential, and I went into the press box, and I was hanging out there, and it was air conditioned, and I was sort of relieved. And in comes Cosmo Jar Jar, and he sits down on the table next to me. And because it's, behind the scenes, it's the press box, it's not out in the stands, he takes off his head and puts it on the table. And he's just this dude drenched with sweat. And he's just sitting there and he's just like soaking up the air conditioning. And I'll be forever traumatized, but always think that was hilarious that I got to see Cosmo take his head off in the press box.
100%, man. I don't know how the mascots do it out here in Vegas. It is 105 degrees and add on another 10, 15 in that suit, man. It is ridiculous. Those guys are doing the Lord's work under there in the 110 degrees.
It's ridiculous. I can't even imagine how they do it with those suits not being air conditioned or whatever, right? Like it's just incredible. So, Tom, my buddies and I, we like to get out to Vegas as often as possible. So I can guarantee you we're going to be back in Summerlin for a ball game. Before we get back to Vegas, where can I go online to find the team store? Where can people find this 51s gear?
Yeah, so you can go on our main page is aviatorslv.com. That'll take you to everything Aviators. But if you're looking specifically for the merch, aviators.milbstore.com. I've got the main banner on there is still the 51s with the greatest model I've got, which is my fiance, so she'll be on there. Shout out to her.
That's
Uh,
great work by you. What's her name?
Susie.
Susie. All right.
Yep. And it's funny, she's from Texas too, so she's got the Texas ties.
And now you
But
can say you're engaged to a model.
exactly, it's funny. I've got a little badge for her here at the ballpark. It says retail model. It gives
Nice.
them everything. But yeah, aviators.milbstore.com. That's where you can find it. You can come visit us in store as well. We're open 10 to 4 Monday through Saturday, and then for every game time as well for ticketed guests.
Tom, this has been amazing. Can't wait to see you in person again. Thank you so much for talking about the 51s. All-time classic minor league baseball brand. So glad to see it back in the form of merchandise available at the Aviator store. And oh, Tom, one last thing. What is your Instagram? Where can people follow you?
So people can follow me personally. It is my first initial T, last name Brazil, Brazile, T Brazil 15 on Instagram. I don't post a ton. I'm on there. Aviators LV has all the good stuff as well that has more to do with the merchandise side of things.
T Brazil 15. Is it because 15 is 51 backwards?
Well, like that could be. I actually wore 15 for the longest time playing ball, so that was my number growing up.
Awesome. Tom, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Baseball by Design podcast. Our very good friend, Valerie Ruiz. You know her as the Stadium Food Girl. Valerie, how you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be on.
We have been friends for a while. I don't think I've ever actually called you Valerie before. You are Val, but it says Valerie here on the Zoom meeting, and so I went into auto mode and called you Valerie rather than Val. Val, awesome to have you here. You're normally Baseball by Design's like food correspondent, and we'll have you back on to talk about the food thing. But you're also kind of Baseball by Design's Las Vegas correspondent. And this episode, first of all, you put me in touch with your very good friend Tom Brazil, and we just got out of that segment. Tom was great to talk to. Super excited about this Las Vegas 51s brand. You and I share an affinity for this brand. You shared it with our whole Curverin Media group when you saw that it was there, and I was like, Val and I got to talk about this. You love this 51s brand.
It is one of my favorite brands. I've got my full outfit, I've got the hat, the shirt, and finally the jersey. I had to go to eBay to look for it. I would have waited though, because jerseys are now available in the Las Vegas Aviators team store, which is great. But when I was in feeling like I really needed it was hard to find. So I got mine from eBay, but I'm so excited. I have like the full outfit now, if you will.
You're a resident of Las Vegas, and you're always sending us news from the Aviators ballpark there. What does this brand mean to Las Vegas? Like, why is this for you as a resident of Las Vegas? What is this 51's brand like? Why is it special to you?
I think a lot of it has to do with, first off, the obsession that a lot of people, including myself, have with Area 51 itself. I went to Reno last year, and it's a straight shot to Reno, so you really don't need the GPS. So I was using my GPS to look up directions to get to Area 51, and it's impossible to get to. I would love to visit it, but apparently, like, bad things will happen.
Mm.
So we don't have to like talk about that. But I think it's just everyone's obsession with like Area 51 and the mystery that it is. There's like an Area 51 gas station on the way to Reno, so I obviously freaked out when I finally saw it in person. And the fact that Las Vegas kind of, I don't know if like poked fun or made fun is like the right word for something that's so like taboo, like Area 51, but like they did their own thing with it, made it a team logo, the mascot. He was so cute. I hope they bring him back soon. And now I guess it's considered a throwback, right? Which adds another layer of coolness to it, the overall thing.
Yeah, it's retro. There's nostalgia for it. How long have you lived in Vegas?
This September 4th will be 8 years.
8 years. So pretty close to when that team went away from this brand and obviously
Yeah.
to this beautiful new ballpark out in Summerlin. You can't fault them for that.
Yeah.
Um, Before we started recording, you described to me the feeling of walking into the team store and seeing this brand on display there after it's been gone almost the whole time that you have lived in Vegas. Tell me about that experience walking into the team store.
So unfortunately, I did not get to my first Aviators game until last week. It was Star Wars night. And all of my Star Wars gear, it's just sweaters and hoodies and beanies. So and it's already 100 degrees in Vegas, so like that was not gonna work. So I figured like I still want to dress in like be in theme with like, my outfit. So I figured aliens, Star Wars, let me just bust out my 51's jersey, my shirt, and my hat, and hopefully people will kind of get like what I'm trying to do here for Star Wars night. So I go in and I'm in like my 51's gear, and my every time I go to the Las Vegas ballpark, my first stop is the team store, even before the concessions, believe it or not.
Wow. You're a
And so I
stadium food
went,
girl.
I know, right? But their team store is incredible. And so I went into the team store and I could not believe that there was an entire wall dedicated to 51's gear. I panicked. I busted out my phone. I was so excited that I posted a video. There was a typo on the video and I was embarrassed because I had sent a few collaborations out with like you, our good friend Kelly with the minor league nerd, Ed, the dad hat. And I was like, great, like they're gonna see that I removed them from collab as a collaborator because I was so excited because, and there was a typo in it and I was just freaking out, but it was the coolest thing ever.
It is awfully cool. Although Tom and I talked about this, you're a stadium food girl, you're a big 51s fan,
Yes.
but I have never been able to get an authentic stadium used Las Vegas 51's ice cream helmet.
Oh
All
my
the games that I've been to there, and Tom mentioned, he said they haven't had them. I did get a custom made one from Eric Lichtenberg, the godfather of ice cream helmets. But
yes.
I'm hoping that this brand now continues to grow, that the team sees the popularity in the team store and says, we got to take this not only on the field, but into the concession stands, which is your area of expertise. How do we get an ice cream helmet with this Las Vegas 51's brand?
Look, let's see if we can, like you'd mentioned, if the logo, if people resonate with it, and you know the day ones who love that logo continue to push it, and the new fans continue to push it. Maybe there will be a 51's night over at the Las Vegas ballpark one day. That was why I bought the jersey from eBay. I was like, okay, we're hitting on almost 10 years since this logo went away. There's going to be a Las Vegas 51's night soon, or a throwback night, whatever. I have to be ready. I will say though, what's today, Monday? On Saturday, I believe that was like what, May 30th, the Las Vegas Lights FC, the soccer team out here, they had a 51's night. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw that.
I
They
well, I didn't know about it until I just earlier today spoke with Tom about it, and he was mentioning that they had the whole stadium full of people wearing 51 stuff at Cashman Field. So
at a soccer game, which, and as you know, like Cashman Field was home to the 51's. So I'm hoping that if the logo does well, now that they're pushing it more, we can get a 51's night and maybe we'll get the helmets. And I will definitely save you one.
well, I know you're so good about that for me. I so appreciate it, and I may be bribing you with some 51's gear that I have available to send you. So you know that that's the case. But with that in mind, one last question for you here. You're stadium food girl, but you're like this close to also being stadium merch girl, and yeah, and so you love a good merch shop. You love a good logo.
I
Which
do.
of your logos is your favorite? Is it the Alien Head? Is it the LV? Is it the Orbitron? What logo do you like the best for that 51's team?
You know what? I love the alien head. I
Yeah,
love it. I love the stitching that goes down on his face, kind of
yeah.
like you know, if there is some sort of a of like baseball is included into the logo, whether it's like a food alternate logo or whatever, if there's some sort of like baseball touch to it, it will always be a favorite of mine. And so no, like I know the LV logo has, if you look at it closely, it's got the outline of the Summerlin Mountains, which is cool. And then the other logo, it doesn't really have anything like of a baseball touch to it, so the alien head is probably my favorite.
Alien Head's the winner.
Yes.
Val, not Valerie, Val, where can people find you and all of your awesome videos? You and I have gotten to collaborate on some on Instagram, so I know some people have discovered me through that because you've got more followers than I do. Where can people find you and your awesome social media accounts?
Yeah, it's Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube's Threads as well, Stadium Food Girl. And I am kind of getting back on Twitter again, or X, so Stadium Food Girl all across.
Stadium Food Girl, Brand Synergy. That's where you can go find Val. You got to go hungry to your social media accounts because like when I'm hungry and I'm watching all this food that you're working your way through at these ballparks, I'm so jealous. It all looks so amazing. Val, thank you so much. Hey, we'll see you again soon.
For sure.
Deep within the recesses of his secret headquarters, somewhere in Louisville, Kentucky, sits Dan Simon. By day, Dan is the owner of Studio Simon, but by night, he tries to stump one Paul Caputo. This is Studio Simon Stumpers.
All right, everyone, welcome back. It is time for Studio Simon Stumpers. Dan, you got it all ready there? You had enough time to put one together?
I just finished it.
Okay, thank goodness.
Okay.
I wonder if this one is going to have anything to do with one of my very favorite Studio Simon creations, the Great Falls Voyagers, who have an alien-themed logo. I've told this story on the podcast before. I have a very specific Voyager's cap that I have been looking for. It's a gray dad hat, and it's got the green alien in the spaceship logo. No words, just the character in the spaceship that you created. I have never been able to find that hat. I thought I was going to be able to get it when I was at a Great Falls Voyagers game in Montana one time, but they did not have that particular cap, nor have I been able to find really any Great Falls Voyagers dad hat with just that logo on it. But it is a favorite. I love that logo. And it's another alien-themed logo that I think of when I think of minor league baseball and aliens.
To me, the visual focal point of it was that alien in his little spaceship.
Yeah.
And I think when they first introduced the identity and had actual merchandise, they were using that logo sparingly, I think.
Yeah. I think that's still the case.
I don't know why.
Well, let me tell you, I have mentioned Ed Rivera of the Dad Hat Chronicles on this podcast before. I know that he has that gray hat with that green alien on it, and he is holding out because I've offered him some pretty good trades for that hat, and I have not been able to put my hands on it. What's really sad is I knew there was a sporting goods store in Great Falls that had the hat that I wanted, and I couldn't order it online, and they did not open in time for me to stop by and pick it up on my way out of town when I was actually in Great Falls. They needed to open like 2 hours earlier than they did. And so I have been close to that hat and have never been able to get it.
Wow, so close you can taste it.
I do. I like to chew on my hats a little bit. So it's Dan, let's look at a Las Vegas 51s themed Studio Simon Stumper.
Yeah, you surmised that perhaps we'll be talking about the Great Falls Voyagers. No, we've already done an episode on that, and this episode's about the Las Vegas teams. So we mentioned, obviously, the team now is the Las Vegas Aviators. Before that, they were the Las Vegas 51s. And before that, you know what they were, right? Don't you,
They were
Paul?
the Las Vegas Stars before that.
Right. And they played at Cashman Field, which I believe the 51s played at as well,
They did.
right?
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a game in Cashman Field or at Cashman Field? And did you ever see the Stars?
So yes and no. I went to several 51s games at Cashman Field, and no, the Stars were before. I think the last year of the Stars was the first year that I was in Las Vegas, which would have been 2000. It was part of a baseball / national park / Las Vegas trip that I took with some of my buddies who are still part of the Baseball Palooza road trip, but it was not a Baseball Palooza. And I was not into minor league baseball at that level yet, where I would have thought to try to get to a Stars game. That's to my dismay. It would have been fun to see that classic identity.
Well, as I've mentioned, I believe on the, not I believe, I know we've talked about this on the podcast. We've talked about everything. I lived in Los Angeles for over 17 years. And because Las Vegas was only, I don't remember, about 4-hour drive from Los Angeles, I would often drive out to Las Vegas and I would go to Stars games at Cashman Field. So I've been to at least a couple, if not several. And today's Studio Simon Stumper is about the Las Vegas Stars.
Ooh.
they had several different logos. I remember having, I didn't buy a hat, or did I? I don't remember, but I do know I bought a t-shirt that I used to wear all the time with the Stars logo on it. And one of the logos they had was, one of their cap logos was a type of animal. It was Elvis, but as an animal.
Oh.
Okay. So our studio Simon Stumper today asks, what type of animal was this Elvis?
Huh.
So you're right. Before I read out the possibilities, I thought you just know everything about the logo history of every team. And so was it, and you're looking kind of puzzled, like
I'm trying to conjure
you can't
it.
picture anything.
Yeah.
So here are your choices. Was the animal a dog? Was it a cat? Or was it a flamingo?
Oh my goodness. It's got to be a flamingo. I can't picture it, but would that be too wacky for 2000 and prior? It's like 1981 to 2000, I think, roughly, is when that team was around. I mean, a dog and a cat, that would be pretty easy to make an Elvis out of a dog and a cat, but I'm going to go flamingo, Dan.
That would have been very clever, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They were not that clever.
Too wacky for the 90s.
For the
okay.
time, right.
I get it.
So,
I get it.
Okay, between a cat and a dog, I'll give you that's only one strike.
Oh no. Oh, well, if I get 3 strikes, then I'm guaranteed to get a hit here. I'm going to say a dog.
And you were correct. Hey, this leads to another stumper, but again, without choices. What team also had an Elvis inspired character that was a cat in a logo? This one, I know you've seen this one. Can you not picture it in your head?
Yes. I do. It was the New Britain Rockcats.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That was a Brandiose logo.
That's right. When they replaced the Guy Gilchrist Rockcat logo, and Brandiose came in and redid that before they became the Yard Goats. Brandiose created an Elvis cat Rockcats logo. That one I remember.
Right. So for those listeners who have either not been to Vegas or don't know much about Vegas or don't care about Vegas, the reason a flamingo would have made a lot of sense is because the Flamingo Hilton was a iconic Las Vegas hotel there. I don't go to Vegas anymore. I can't stand Vegas. I used to like it back then. I used to think it was actually kind of fun. My in-laws lived in Vegas, and the last time we were there to see them, I hated Vegas. Have you been to Vegas? Well, yes, you have been there recently. You went. I know you've seen an Aviators game with the stadium food girl, right?
Well, we did we had a kind of mini meetup for the 2024 AAA championship game. And back when more of my Baseball Palooza crowd lived out west, we used to just sort of convene in Vegas I could do Vegas for about 2.5 days before I burn out on it. But, I like the table games. I like to play blackjack, but I'm not a huge gambler, so I don't spend a lot of money. And so I've got a low tolerance for losing, right? Like if I lose more than like 50 or $60, then I get a pit in my stomach. And so then I go spend 3 times that on food somewhere. But in general, I like Las Vegas, but in small quantities. Dan, I cannot find this dog logo. I'm looking around at all like the old Stars branding and whatnot. So it's not. So this was quite the find by you, Dan. It's not something that's like really out there in the world.
Oh yeah, you're right about that. But I wouldn't call it a find. My research for this did not lead me to this logo. I remembered the logo. So
you remembered it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Dan, this was a fun one. Guess what? My phone is ringing, and it's Ed Rivera of the Dad Hat Chronicles, surely calling to talk about this Curb Rim Media meetup. Dan, this is fun as always. Thank you. Now I have found another shirt that I need to get with this Las Vegas Stars dog logo. As always, thank you for a fun stumper, and we'll see you next week.
I will see you then. Thanks.